Good afternoon, everybody. Sean Lardo here, Economy Evangelist here at IT Nation. Thanks for tuning in. Getting ready to talk about one of my most favorite topics of the whole year, every year now at this point, which is the PitchIT competition, which is like my baby at this point, for those that don't know. Today's episode is special to me because these are very good friends of mine. There are two that finalists, last year's finalists, third place finalists, which I'm going to introduce in a minute, that won Marvin B steak knives. And the second person is actually one of the finalists for this season that made it. That's going to be competing. And for those wondering how, where, and why, it'll be competing live on stage at IT Nation Connect November 6th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard. So in Orlando, which for those of us up north and east, Orlando and November is a very good time to be there. So this is all about the competition, right? This is all about the Shark Tank competition that goes on between all these startup vendors that go through a 16-week accelerated incubator program. And at the end of the 16 weeks, they all compete. 25 vendors this year competed for only 3 spots. These 3 spots are dedicated to these 3 finalists. I'm not going to go on any more about that, but it's exciting. It's all innovative products. It's people that you MSPs want to look at because they're looking to always do stack alignment and perfect the way you do business. And for vendors, they're not sure to be involved. These guys are going to tell their stories about how they're involved and what it does, being part of PitchIT, being part of the IT Nation community and whatnot. So without further ado, I want to bring on the first guest. They're going to come on together, but one-at-a-time introductions that deserve it. First, let's bring on Matthew Koenig. He's the VP over at Nodeware. What's up, Matthew?
How you doing?
Doing well. I'm glad to see you did your hair today for the event.
Yes, I did this morning. My wife, was very excited.
Looks good. It looks good. Did you tell her it was for me?
Yeah.
So, how you been, man?
I'm good. Traveling like a fool, like usual.
I know, right?
Well, all over the place.
Yeah, I know. And your vacation, which we'll get into later on. I want to talk about it. So let's talk about who we're about to bring on. You last year were the 3rd place finisher. I'm sorry to remind you, but you were a finalist out of 26 vendors last year. So that is amazing. You got to perform live on stage. We're going to talk about that later. But this year now, you graciously accepted the fact of being the head coach, one of the head coaches, right? Thank you. And you're the head coach for the guy we're about to bring up, which is our man Doug from SeedPod Cyber. What's up, Doug?
Hey, Sean, how are you?
I love you, David Hasselhoff. It's just so fitting. You got the hair.
Yeah.
The jacket's not on though, so
I don't have the jacket today. But
threw me off. So people that are watching this are wondering why I have all these really good-looking guys on the screen right now, and so wondering what's going on here. We're talking about PitchIT, and you made it as a finalist this year out of the 25 that competed for the Battle Royale. So,
right.
I want to dig into a conversation with both of you about how everything went while you're in the program and how you guys are working together. But I want to start with how you guys are working together because I know Matthew is a lot. So. I'll let you start, Doug.
Yeah, well, no, he is a lot, but he brings a lot to the table. And not just experience with the PitchIT, but also with the channel as well, and has some great insights into how MSPs think, how what they're focused on, what they're not focused on, and what you really need to kind of lean into when you're presenting here. And we've had a couple conversations already, and he's given some great constructive criticism on the presentation that I have, and we're still kind of working through that, so that over the next few weeks leading up to the finalist presentation, I'll really have a well-honed, well-crafted, MSP directed pitch to share with everyone. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Absolutely. That was so politically well-rounded. I really appreciate that. But I do want to just touch on this because this is important. And Matthew, I know we went through this too last season when you were in. You mentioned about trying to say the right thing, right? How many times have you adjusted your presentation since we met day one? Doug?
For me, it's probably changed almost every day. there. My presentation has, each time that I give the presentation, part of me's editing as I go, and a large part of it is responding to what I'm sensing from the audience, whether it's with you, the other members of the PitchIT teams as well, and now in terms of working with Matthew, it's been, the business model hasn't changed. It's really how you present it, and how what do people respond to, and what are their needs that you have to make sure that you're addressing. And you only have, as you have 5 minutes to kind of make it happen. And as much as I'm sure everybody wants to hear about cyber insurance and the intricacies of it,
Of course.
and really spend a lot more time than 5 minutes. I've got to really make sure that it hones and it speaks to them where they are, and not where I'd like them to be.
Yes, everybody's so excited about cyber insurance. That's for sure. So and Matthew, last year you went through all this because you and I had lots of conversations. Now Matthew's been presenting on stage for many years, right? But it's different when you're on stage, and like you said, you can react to people looking at them than being on a virtual, like we did for the battle royale, right? That's first off. So Matt, when you went through this, what was the process you took? I know we talked about things, but what was the process you took to really hone in on what you should be saying to be effective?
What I did is I first put together everything out of my head. I did a brain dump.
Mm-hmm.
So I put together, it was probably a 25 slide PowerPoint presentation to get everything dumped out of my head. And then what I started doing is I started going back and making notes to myself saying, okay, here are the 5 major points. It's kind of like writing an English paper in college, right? Here are the 5 major points I think I need to make. And then underneath each one, okay, which of these slides helps make that point the best? And once I narrowed all that down, then I started honing in the exact slide, the exact message, what I was going to say to get my points across. I'm definitely one of those people that I've got to do the brain dump, or like Doug's talking about, I'll literally sit there every other hour going, I need to do an initial brain dump and get everything out of my head on paper. And then I can start looking through something and breaking it down, because as I said, just like a college paper, you have an outline, right? What's the major topic? And then what are the subtopics? And then I brought that all together and then started really narrowing it down and focusing it, saying, look, if you got 5 minutes, how do you say this where it makes an impact within 5 minutes? Because, it's not just the time zone, it's what you say. Can you make an impact in 5 minutes, not just can you say a bunch of stuff?
Right. There is that fire hose problem, right? If you say too much stuff. And I always found it best to say enough to generate or spark engagement and questions, because then you have 10 minutes of questions. It's okay to leave something open-ended, but they have to know that it exists to be open-ended in the first place. It has to be something that's impactful. So, and I know, like, working with you personally last year, I know we went through about 4 different renditions in about a week and a half. And I know you were losing your mind, which was personally enjoyable for me.
Well, the other thing I learned that I'll add, and I talked about this when I did my coaching session with everyone, is at some point you got to take all the cooks out of the kitchen, and there can only be one.
Absolutely.
Once everybody has their input, at some point there's a deadline, and you go, done. You guys are out. Now it's up to me.
Absolutely.
We've agreed. I'm the one who's got to present it now. So it's got to make sense to me. Go away.
It's got to be in your words. Absolutely. And so with that, how do you feel about Doug?
Oh my God. I feel great. We went through the presentation, and first of all, I love the product. I really do. And this would be without being his coach. I really do. I think it adds just a huge amount of value to the channel and to MSPs on a topic that they struggle with on a regular basis. Matter of fact, I just finished a blog post that we published, which was funny because it coincided with Doug's and my second conversation. And that blog post might have been written about his company. So it was really cool. So that's the first thing I'll say. I'm just excited If you're an MSP and you're not talking to Doug and his team, then it's not just a new product. You're doing yourself a true disservice at this point. Second of all, I think the overall overarching theme and the points he's about to make are going to blow everybody out of the water. I think it's that impactful. I mean, I really think, I don't care who the other competitors are. There are no other competitors in this competition.
Wow. Well done. I mean, he kind of Babe Ruth you just now. And
Yeah.
He didn't say a word. How do you feel about that, man? I mean, I got goosebumps a little bit for that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm pumped to first of all to be working with Matt, and then obviously from what he said, and I'm excited about our program and what we do, and especially that I think the PitchIT experience has really helped increase my enthusiasm for really working within the MSP channel. Because what we want to make sure that we do is that our product really fits in with the channel and the needs of the MSP as they look to kind of grow their business and really present cybersecurity solutions in a way that are relevant to their customers here. And PitchIT really helped emphasize that for me, and the experience of working with the mentors and going through the podcast and everything, and now working with Matthew and really kind of getting really understanding through his perspective of having done PitchIT, and as well as obviously his experience. It's just really exciting, and it makes it fun to tell my story. And I think it's a strong story. It's a good story, and every MSP should be focused on what we do.
Absolutely. And I want to touch into this a little bit as far as like your experience going through the program itself, right?
Yeah.
You both did it. I feel like this year was a little bit more enhanced than what Matthew went through, was more enhanced than my first year running it, right? We added a lot more into it. So, I'll start with you, Matthew. Where your experience in the program, again, you've been doing this for a long time in this space. So for you, it almost becomes apples to apples in most cases, right? You and I have seen it all at this point in this industry. Did you see a difference in the way we approached it with the program and how you made any kind of adjustments as a result, or was it the same for you?
I mean, I think it was slightly the same, but there was slightly more to it. I think it improves every single year. I think there are tweaks that are made. I think there are things that are learned, because I don't know. I've never seen actual what I call mistakes made. What I've seen is learning. So not a mistake here and then, how do we fix that? More of yes, we can add that in.
Absolutely.
So what I've seen the program just grow and grow. And I think this year was no different. I mean, I think there was a lot of added value, and having nothing to do with me actually giving it in all seriousness. I think just my session is something new this year, where we said, hey, you know what? Let's bring on someone that's done it before and explain the things that you need to understand and the possible pitfalls and everything. I mean, that was a new topic even this year. So I think it just continues to add more and more and more value to vendors over time. And therefore becomes not just, let me attend the sessions because I'm supposed to, as opposed to let me attend the session because I'm going to walk away with 1-2 things every time that I can change and implement that will make an impact on my business.
Absolutely. And so I think, again, I think it's important to talk about the fact of the added pieces to it. I think one thing you bring in a good element to is the fact that you bring in your years of experience that you talked about, which I really appreciate. All three of you guys that did this, all three of coaches all had sessions, and you guys I left it open to you guys what you wanted to bring to the table, and you all did a really good job with it because you all had different perspectives of what you wanted to talk about, which I thought was unique. But I'm done talking about it. Doug, you talk. How do you feel about your experience in this?
Yeah, well, leading into it, I had no idea what to expect, and I'm kind of a just-in-time person, so I wasn't probably even reading the emails, other than I knew I had to be at these sessions, And what I got out of it was, well, first of all, amazed with and really grateful for the amount of information from different perspectives, not just on the PitchIT itself, but just on how you need to think as a business person in this channel, and what do you need to think about from a marketing perspective, from a financial perspective, from a product solution perspective there, and the resources that you brought were fantastic in that regard. Secondarily, the way that the PitchIT kind of builds us as a cohort, as a team. So yes, we're competing against each other, but we're also, hey, we're all startups. We're trying to, we're trying to get into this space, provide value, and there's opportunities, potential partnership opportunities, or at least ways that we can support each other. And that, certainly, and I was able to go to the CompTIA event where a number of PitchIT of our, the vendors were able to get together and help the sponsor and everything, and that was a great way to get together. And I hope that cohort feeling continues as we move on, and then also more specifically to really help to shape, as I mentioned, each after each meeting, my articulation of what we were and what we provide became clearer and clearer. And so I think maybe the first podcast, I was probably a little rambling in terms of what I thought we were and did, and I was able to kind of narrow it down and into that final week of the presentations there. So I think it and I guess and I mentioned it a little bit, but just really understanding how much value is within this channel and how important it is to give to the channel. That this isn't something that you come in and you say, I'm just going to take, or I write a check to be a sponsor, and then I deserve to get, things. You really have to put yourself in there on a personal basis there, and you have to recognize MSPs more than just, a check, that money in the bank, and as a person, and really get to know them as a person, and let them get to know you as a person too. And really the giving aspect, and this is where you and Matthew and everyone who is involved with PitchIT really showed that its giving is the number one value that you need to have if you're going to be successful here. So that's been very helpful for me.
No, I love that. I couldn't agree more. And yeah, you did become far more polished in talking.
Right.
I remember our first conversation.
Yeah.
The question, Doug.
Yeah.
Just answer the question. I'll ask another. Don't worry. And it is like, that's one of the things one of the biggest pieces that we see in this is people talking on screen. For some reason, they think they're movie stars right away, and they're looking for their script and start rambling about it. And everyone, and Matthew's no different. When we started doing these things, we were all in the same boat doing it, and it was nice to watch you change. And they actually asked me, I did an interview about all of you guys. They were asking what I thought about the finalists and what stood out. And I said, for you, Doug, you were already polished to begin with because you have years of experience in speaking with people, and that the difference though is you could be a trusted source because you actually know what you're talking about. You're not just a salesperson up there saying what you need to get a deal. You can go in depth into a conversation. So it's really reassuring. And that's what people find, that's the confidence they get out of you. And as we know, people only want to do business with people they're confident with. They like it.
Right.
So
yeah,
great. So I'm impressed. You're here, you're a finalist.
Right.
For it. And it's not like you're talking about the sexiest product on the market, it's cyber insurance.
I know. I did say, I was surprised, we don't have the single pane of glass approach. We don't have the shiny lights and everything. And we do have some technology certainly as part of it, but we're an intangible. We're selling a promise, and yet is in these days, it's a real critical promise, and we can deliver to the MSPs kind of the confidence that will be standing behind that promise, and that will help them.
I'm going to disagree wholeheartedly. I think it's very sexy. I think it's very, and let me explain why though. Let me tell you, because MSPs need to get involved in their client cyber liability insurance, whether they have it, they don't have it. They need to know that policy. They need to know what controls have to be in place. They need to make sure they're providing those controls and they're working with their customer. And if they're not, they're going to end up losing business or with another MSP in there. You give them the ability to add significant MRR to their regular program around cyber. You give them an entry into cybersecurity for those customers that are pushing back on cybersecurity. I'm sorry. As far as I'm concerned, lots of new MRR and taking customers' objections, though, that's sexy as hell to me, but maybe I'm weird.
I will do at this stage, I'll do the David Hasselhoff running with the red thing and the red trunks.
Oh my God. Oh, you'll be on Baywatch. Oh my God. That'll be amazing. If you wouldn't, if that doesn't win all the votes.
Maybe I'm getting old, but that's very sexy to me.
And we can do it in slow motion.
Right.
Like, really, I'm in. I'm totally down to support you on that. I'll say this. I still don't think it's sexy. I think it's a tangible, though, not an intangible. It's something that's required no matter what to have this at this point. I think it's become status quo. 3 years ago, not so much, right? But now it's so I do see this being a tangible. You say it's a promise, but there's an agreement being signed to protect.
Yep.
For a fail-safe.
I bet if you told your wife you could bring in an extra $200,000 a year for something, she'd find you sexy as hell.
That's different now. That's not the product. That's the money. It's not the same thing, Matthew.
Well, but that's what he's giving. He's giving them the ability to make money.
Oh, dear Lord.
That's why we're going to kick everybody's butt.
I just maybe Matt should be able to stick with you and present it. Like, he's got like raps now. Like, I'll announce you. Like, actually, it's Matthew Koenig presenting. Is he from Nodeware? Yes, but look at his passion. Look at his passion for cybersecurity insurance. Look at this.
Right.
Oh my God.
Well, there is a lot. There is, he is speaking the truth, and with regards to it, because cyber insurance is really guiding where cybersecurity is going. It's become kind of the lead. So if you understand where cyber insurance is and what they're looking for, you can win as an MSP, and you can win in terms of providing product and upselling. And we've shown that our partners have really done that as we've been presenting the product. When we say if you have these things in place, you can save more than enough beyond the cost of the solutions to get it. That becomes an easy win for the MSP to get that MRR. And then when we're able to provide them leads and through the other channels in which we're writing business, that they have the opportunity to pitch in their cybersecurity solutions, that becomes another revenue stream for them. So there is the opportunity for growth there, and then to position themselves as really that cyber risk manager to their client, so that they become that trusted seat at the table when it comes to risk with their business. That helps them retain the business and grow even more. So
he's sexy.
There's some sexy there. There is some sexy there.
I feel like your intro music is bringing sexy back.
Just saying.
Oh my goodness.
Every time I bring home a lot of money, my wife finds me incredibly sexy.
I have no doubt. So, getting back on the tracks, let's talk. You both were in the program. What made you sign up to be in this program? Matthew, I'll start with you because I don't go on a tangent. Just keep it simple.
You made me. Done.
You're absolutely right. I did make you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Doug?
You know what? We were in the event program, working through that, and I was told about this opportunity, and I didn't think too much about it, and then I was told again, and I said, well, what the heck? I'll go in and I'll apply, and see what happens, and obviously we made it into the in as part of the cohort. So but I came in through the event program because we did want to work with ConnectWise.
That's fair. And then going back even to the cohort at ChannelCon, the Crow's Nest, that was a big success.
That was it was to see the number of people coming into that room and the to see and getting to know you see the cohort members or cohort online. You don't get a chance to see them in 3D and really getting a chance to see them and having a drink with them. That was special too there. And there'll be you just now I know some more faces. So at the other events, I'll be able to see them and we'll commiserate. I'm really looking forward to obviously the competition in November, but also looking forward to our sponsorship and what we'll be doing at IT Nation too. So that's going to be a lot of fun too.
I agree. My biggest shock was the size of Dustin Poirier.
Yes. He is a big dude.
He's jacked, and I'm like, who is this guy?
They grow them big in Louisiana.
Yeah, he's so gentle when he talks, and it's like then he shows up, and I was like,
I know. He could kick all of our asses.
Yeah, no, for sure. Oh my God! But he's so. How are you today? He talked to the light. It's like, dude, your hand is as big as my forearm. Like when we shook hands, he touched my elbow.
Right.
It's insane. So yeah, no, but most of that cohort is going to be sponsored by IT Nation Connect. And for those that haven't had a chance to see it because the agenda hasn't come out, you all have gotten together to sponsor a cigar bourbon tasting party.
Right.
So that's for partners to come to.
Yeah.
For you guys. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that? I'm excited. It's a cigar and it's bourbon.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think it's great to get. It's kind of it's an on-campus event, so people don't have to stray too far. I'm looking forward to being able to connect where you're not just standing at the booth and ready to do a demo, but you're really just having a cocktail, having your favorite stogie, whatever, and just getting to know people, and that's really what I'm looking forward to. And I'm also excited. Obviously, we're looking for connections and relationships, but also just to promote the PitchIT because it helps us as a business. The bigger the PitchIT is as the awareness of that grows because we've been part of it, and also I think it really shows as you guys know better than me, but I don't know if there's any other type program that's out there in the MSP channel, and I really think it helps to get vendor awareness. And it also helps the MSPs because, you really take us through the paces to show, hey, if you want to play in this space, this is what you got to do. And this is how you need to present yourself. So I'm looking forward, that's just another way. This is another way of really amplifying that.
I love all that. And yeah, you've already, you addressed it earlier about giving first. And that's the one thing about us. We adopt that co-giver mentality. That's first and foremost. So I appreciate that. That's what you want to do is give back. The first line is feed the program feeds you kind of. So we all end up finding success together if we do it the right way.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So as far as everything else goes, then Matthew already said that you're winning.
The money's already spent. So
Wow. Woo! That's what I wanted to know. So you're saying the other finalists should be looking out for you.
Well, I think first of all, Matthew can speak to the quality of the steak knives, and that's a good value.
Wow, just poured it on. Now he's against the world now, isn't it?
No. The other the two other competitors, they're bringing some good things to the table, certainly, and it will be and it will be a battle here, and I'll always think of them fondly, as I take home the winnings. So
that's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. We'll just have to make sure that when we on this, we'll tag the other guys.
Right.
What at the 30-minute and 40-second mark, you're going to want to hear this.
Tell Bobby and Bruce. Sorry, guys.
Well, I'll have
one last year, but I'm winning this year.
There you go. Exactly.
I love that. I love that. And so anybody that's interested, obviously, as we mentioned, you guys will be doing this live on stage at IT Nation Connect. We still have the ability for people to register for IT Nation Connect. I believe we do have a link we can put across banner whenever my backstage guru takes care of that. But there's still time to register for IT Nation Connect November 6th. I'll be getting on the 5th. What about you guys? When are you guys getting in?
I'm in on the 5th. Yeah,
I'm actually in earlier because we've got an Evolve presentation, so I'll be there. I think on the 3rd.
That's right.
Oh, great.
Dude.
Yep.
Right from awesome. Evolve, right to IT Nation Connect. Yeah, so it's kind of I'm excited. How much work do you think you have left to do to be ready for this, Doug?
I have a lot of work. It's more just kind of some of it is rinse and repeat. Some of it is sanding, getting and polishing, and also translating the language. So there'll be, but this is stuff that I love doing, and working with Matthew. He's just infectious in terms of the energy that he brings, and so love working with him as well as part of this process. So,
what do you think, Matt?
I'm excited about it. I'm excited to be involved in the program overall. As I told you last year, whether I'm coaching, whether I'm, bringing home lousy steak knives. Thanks, Uncle Marv. But the reality is, as I've always said, in all seriousness, if you're not checking out every vendor in this group, there's a reason why they're part of the program. Yep. And so if you're an MSP and you're not at least looking at every single one of them at IT Nation, talking to them, seeing what they bring to the table, you're probably missing out on a really good solution that whether you use it now or you want to know about because you can use it later, anybody that's not a competitor to Nodeware, and you'll be. No, I'm kidding. In all seriousness, every single one of them you should go look at though and talk to them and see what they have to offer because you never know what's going to help you change your business. And in all seriousness, also we're going to kick everybody else's ass and we're going to win.
Right.
Wow. I'm glad to hear that again. 3350 mark. Okay. Got it. All right. Any parting words before we get off of here? Because we're going to wrap this up.
From my standpoint, I think the biggest work now that after this conversation is I've got to work to get my 6-pack going so I can run down in that Bay Force style. So and take away the language.
Dad was in, Doug. Don't worry.
Okay.
Just
I'll take that.
I don't think we have a choice, do we?
Yeah, right.
We're of the age where it just doesn't happen. All right. So, Matthew, anything you want to say? That's a dumb question. Anyway, thanks, Matthew, for coming. All right, all. Thank you for being part of this. Thank you for being part of the program and being huge advocates and champions for this. Regardless of whatever happens, I mean, I feel like there's so much progress that's been made for all of us, and I'm happy that you guys did this with me. And this is what our team and Matthew coming back the next year to help again and still being the advocate. I really it's a testament to that go-giver. It's a testament to community and giving back. So thank you so much. With that said, remember everybody, IT Nation is November 6th. That's when you guys go live on stage. There's an open bar 30 minutes prior at 2:30. Come in by 2:30, have a drink, mingle, and then sit your butt down for 3 o'clock to kick it off. Looking forward to seeing you both up on stage, though. Well, not Matthew. Looking forward to seeing you, Doug, on stage.
Right.
But if you win, Matthew gets to come on stage and take a picture with you with the check.
There you go.
Based off your comments today, looking forward to seeing you both on stage November 6th.
There you go.
You know what that means? That means I'm going to need to be wearing a SeedPod t-shirt.
There you go. You will get. I'll have it in Japanese because you'll understand.
I don't think a vacation in Japan means you can speak Japanese completely. That's not.
Hey, by the time I get home, I'm going to be Japanese.
Not how that works. It's not osmosis. Anyway,
my dreams.
I'm just trying. Yes. Again, thank you guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Looking forward to seeing what you guys do. I'm so excited, and I hate announcing the winner, so you're clear. So you know, I'm gonna hate announcing it. I'm looking for somebody else to announce the winner this year. I'll let you guys know that later who it is. But thank you guys. I'll see you all November 6th.
All right. Take care.
Doodles.